The scale almost made me quit the gym more than once. Not because I wasn't working hard, but because I didn't understand what it was actually measuring. Today, I am training back in biceps, which is a part of the push-pull legs split that I typically follow. It is a pretty simple structure that helps me stay consistent in the gym without overcomplicating things. Some days are push, some days are pull, like today, and then obviously legs. In my last video, I talked about how progress in the gym often happens before you actually see it. And one of the biggest reasons people quit early is because they rely on one number to judge everything they're doing. And that would be the scale. Most people step on it expecting a straight line down. But your body does not work like that. Weight can change every single day, depending on things like water, food, sleep, sodium, or even stress. You could be doing everything right and still see the number go up for a few days at a time. And if you don't understand why that happens, it's really easy to think that you're failing. That's something I struggled with a lot early on. I'd train hard, try to eat better, and then step on the scale, expecting it to reflect all the effort I put in. And when it didn't, it felt like none of the work I did actually counted towards anything. What changed for me was realizing that the scale is just one data point. It tells you your total body weight in that moment, but it does not actually explain what's happening inside your body. You could be holding more water. You could have more food in your system. You could even just have eaten a little more the day before than in days prior. And all of those things affect the number on the scale. That's why I started paying attention to the things that actually help me stay consistent instead of just reacting to what the scale tells me. One of the biggest things for me is tracking my macronutrients. Now, that does not mean I obsess over every single gram of food, although those close to me would say otherwise. What it really does is give me a general framework so I know that my body is getting what it needs. And when I track things like protein, carbohydrates, and fats, I know that most of the food I'm eating is actually supporting my goals. That alone makes it a lot easier not to panic when the scale fluctuates, because I can step back and say, my training is consistent, my nutrition is structured, and I'm giving my body the fuel it needs, so this number that I'm seeing in front of me may not reflect what I'm actually feeling. So if the scale jumps around for a few days, it does not mean everything is falling apart. It usually just means my body is adjusting. And another thing that makes nutrition a little more complicated for me is that I am lactose intolerant. This means a lot of the typical high protein foods people rely on, like milk, yogurt, or whey protein, do not work for me. So hitting calorie and protein goals can be a little bit more challenging, and I have had to find other foods that work with my body while still helping me stay consistent. Things like lean meats, eggs, lactose-free options such as Lactaid for milk, and other protein sources that do not cause problems are typically my go-tos. It did take some time to figure out what works, but once you find foods that fit your body, it becomes much easier to stay on track because it is a highly repeatable process. Another reason I'm paying more attention to nutrition right now is because I'm starting a cut. For the past few months, I've been in a bulk, trying to build muscle and strength, but now I'm shifting into a phase where I want to lean out a bit and see how that progress I have been making looks with a lower body fat percentage. When I'm cutting, the scale can actually fluctuate even more, which is why understanding these things becomes even more important. If you're doing the right things consistently, small changes in body weight shouldn't throw you off. The scale can be a useful tool, but it should never be the only thing telling you whether you're doing well. Your habits, your training, and your nutrition over time tell a much bigger story, and if those things are in place, the results will eventually follow. You just have to give them time. In the next video, I'm going to talk more about how I structure my meals and calories while starting this cut, and what helps me stay consistent even when things are not perfect. If you're new here, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to watch. And to everyone who has already been supporting the channel so far, I really appreciate it. And I will keep documenting the process as I go through this cut and continue training. So if you want to follow along, feel free to subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.